If I'm being brutally honest with you, the money isn't the main reason I'm going to be getting on that plane. There's a silent cost of living in the UK right now that's more expensive than your council tax bill. It crept up so slowly that most of us haven't even noticed it's choking us. It's the fact that no one is here. Everyone I know is rushing, permanently just about coping, walking a tightrope over bills and schedules and responsibilities that never shut up. And the result? We've stopped living. We're just functioning. Bodies in seats, minds elsewhere entirely. I realised recently I'm not just leaving the UK to save money. I'm leaving to see if I can find a place where people still have the bandwidth to look you in the eye. Because whatever this isn't living. And it reminded me of something that Ernest Hemingway said. Hemingway had this idea about presence, and it stayed with me for years. He said, when people talk, listen completely. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say. Most people never listen, nor do they observe. He believed you should be able to walk into a room and when you leave, you should know what you saw, what you felt, and what caused it. It sounds beautiful, doesn't it, to be that aware and that observant, that connected. But look around the UK today. Who honestly has the mental space to walk into a room and observe every detail? Most people are doing this. They're half listening, half scrolling, half answering, half existing. Not because they're bad people, not because they don't care, but because their heads are overflowing with how do I pay that bill? Who was that on the mobile? Did I reply to that email? What's happening at work tomorrow? What fresh nonsense in the news is going to annoy me today? Somewhere along the way, we stopped hearing each other and we didn't even notice it's happening. Presence, real presence, has become a luxury item. A while back, I met up with somebody. I don't like to mention their name, so I'm just going to call them Mark. We sat down for a coffee, catching up after ages, and I opened up about some things weighing on me. Burnout, the thinking about the leaving the UK, the house sale. That moment when you look at your life and think, I can't keep doing this. But something felt off. He was looking at me. The eyes were pointing in my general direction, but he wasn't with me. He nodded. He made the right sounds and he reacted in various places, but there was nothing behind it. There was no connection, no spark, no sense that anything I said landed anywhere. And the giveaway came when I finished sharing something which was genuinely vulnerable. There was no pause, no breath, no moment of, Spence, I'm sorry to hear that. He just launched full scale straight into a completely different topic, full speed, like he'd been just waiting for my mouth to stop moving so he could fire his story out. And I realised two things. One, that he wasn't trying to be rude, and two, he didn't even realise he was doing it. His brain was just overloaded. Money, stress, work, pressure, family, the usual background noise that's become the soundtrack of living in the UK. He literally didn't have the mental capacity left to listen. And here's the truth, if I'm honest with myself, I've done the same thing. I think We all have. We convince ourselves we're listening when we're actually just waiting for our turn to speak. Presence isn't just a mindfulness buzzword, it's the ability to actually experience the moment you're in. It's noticing the softness in someone's voice when they're hurting, the hesitation that tells you they're not okay, the warmth or cold in a room and why it feels that way, the tiny signals that make life meaningful. And most of us have forgotten how to do that. Think about your own life now. You probably have one moment where someone really listened to you. They weren't rushing, they weren't distracted, they weren't checking their phone. They were just fully with you. And you walked away lighter, not because the problem vanished, because a problem shared is a problem halved. That moment was presence. It was a connection, the thing we're starving for now. It's what life is supposed to feel like. Something happens when you hit your 40s and 50s. You look back and realize how much of your life you spent on autopilot. Wake up, go to work, come home, exhausted, scroll, sleep, repeat. And the moments that you actually remember, they weren't the big trips or the big purchases. They were the moments you were present. A walk where you noticed the world again, a conversation that stayed with you for years, a quiet moment with your kids that felt huge, a simple day that didn't feel rushed. You start realizing, I don't just want to live somewhere else, I want a life I can actually feel again. That realization is why so many people are thinking about leaving places like the UK. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I chose the Philippines. Whenever I've visited, I've noticed something that feels different. It's the pace. People sitting outside together, chatting, laughing, simply watching life happen, not solving the world, not putting the world to rights, not rushing anywhere, just being part of it. Do that in the UK and someone reports you as a suspicious character. Is life there perfect? No. Is it hard sometimes? Yep. But there's a bandwidth in the culture, a slowness, a social warmth that makes presence easier to access. Not because people are more mindful, but because the whole environment invites you to actually be in your life. I'm moving because I want to reclaim the ability to sit in a chair and simply exist without the guilt that I should be doing something else. Presence isn't exclusive to the Philippines. Of course it isn't. You can find it anywhere, but the pace there makes it feel possible in a way that doesn't feel accessible in the UK right now. Well, for me anyway. When we're not present, we miss knowing people deeply, catching when someone isn't okay, feeling beauty inside small things, being grateful for what we already have, recognizing when our own life needs to change. Without presence, life becomes a blur. Years pass in a haze of stress and distraction. We talk about wanting a better life, but half the time we aren't even in the one we've got. So, what can we do? I'm not going to pretend presence is going to fix the economy or fix the NHS or even fix the cost of living. You can't meditate your way out of a system that's failing you. I've tried. but you can claim tiny pockets of presence inside the chaos. So, tomorrow, try this. When someone speaks, don't plan your reply, just listen fully. And tomorrow, when you walk into a room, take 3 seconds to actually look around. It sounds tiny, but tiny is where life starts to get real again. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if moving to the Philippines will magically fix this. You do take your baggage everywhere with you. But I do know this: you can't heal in the same environment that's making you sick. So I'm going to find out whether a simpler life can lead to a more present life. If you want to see whether I actually find it or whether I just end up overheating in a different country, either way, you'll get the truth. Please come along with me and hit subscribe. This is Spence Unpacked, and I'll see you on the next one.